Hey guys, this lesson is Easy Lead Guitar Songs for Beginners. My name is Mike B and this is Campfire Guitar Star. Alright guys, so right before we jump into this one, I'm going to need you to head down to the description, click on that link to get the tabs up in front of you. It'll definitely be easier to follow along with the tabs. That being said, if you guys don't know how to read tabs, this lesson might be a little confusing for you, so in the description I'm also going to put a link to one of our lessons where we teach you how to read tab. So if you don't know how to read tab, check that out. If you do know how to read tab, let's continue. So the very first song we're going to check out today is one of the easiest guitar solos of all time, if not the easiest guitar solo of all time, which is I Want to Be Sedated by the Ramones. So all you need is one note. This is one of my favorite solos to teach because it's just super easy. Check it out. First finger, 5th fret, B string or 2nd string. Get this E note right here. Now, when you're there, what you want to do is you want to position your left hand in such a way that the B string as well as the high E string are ringing through. And you kind of just push through both of them. Now, it's actually the exact same note if you didn't notice that. This is... But when we're doubling it up, it just kind of fattens it up a little bit. Just makes it a little bit more powerful than just doing one single note. So, first finger locked and loaded on the 5th fret. In the right hand, here's what you do. And that's the whole solo. It just loops that. You just keep cycling downstrokes in your right hand on that little single note / chord we got there. So I'm doing all downstrokes. I think there might be about 64 of them in the song. It just goes on for quite a while. But what you want to do, and this is one of the reasons this is a good song to start out with when you're getting into soloing, is that we're now strumming the bottom half of our guitar, right? Like we're on the small strings here. Usually we're strumming, you know, on some of these strings over here, but now we're on the bottom, slightly different motion in the right hand. I still want you though to do this with downstrokes. I know upstrokes might feel a little bit easier, but I want you to do all downstrokes. Try to build some speed. The reason we're doing downstroke is they just have a little bit of a fatter sound to them. If you ever watch a Metallica live show, you notice everything they do is all downstrokes, even though it's ridiculously fast, or most of what they're doing is downstroke, just because you've got gravity on your side, you can hit them a little bit harder. We're playing the Ramones, we're playing punk here, so we want to be hitting this guitar pretty hard, so just... See how fast you can get that. Alright, so let's head down to the second solo of the day, which is going to be Zombie by the Cranberries. Now, this one is another just great beginner guitar solo. We're going to be doing a little bit of sliding in this one, which is a great technique to have down when you're getting into the world of lead guitar. There's a few basic techniques you need to have a solid understanding of. Bending, sliding, hammer-ons and pull-offs, all that kind of stuff are definitely necessary tools, and this one's really going to get your slides happening. So right before we jump into this one, I want you to look at the tabs. Now if you look at that very first line in this song, on either end of the line, I've got these kind of, it's like a double line with 2 dots around, you know, on each side of the line. Now what that means is you repeat whatever is in the inside of those symbols. So on that first line, that's going to mean we repeat that first line. Now you see on the top, it actually says play this line 4 times. So if we jump to the second line, you can see that those repeat symbols are just on the first half of the line. So that means you're just going to repeat the first half of the line. The second half of the line, you do not repeat. So now that we've sorted that out, let's jump into this one. So we're right at the beginning here. We've actually just got 3 notes on this first line. We've got the 7th fret on the high E with our 3rd finger. We've got the 8th fret with our 4th finger, and we've got the 5th fret with our 1st finger. We can all do all downstrokes in the right hand. So we go 7, 8, 5, 7. That's kind of the main motion there. 7, 8, 5, 7. Now, when we get to that 7, we're actually going to play it 4 times and then repeat. So we get. So now, watch when I repeat it. It's almost like there's 5 7s in a row because it starts and ends on the same note. So if I play that 4 times in a row, it's going to sound something like this. 3, 4. That's it right there. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4, start. 1, 2, 3, 4. I find like when you're repeating that, this might not work for you, but for me, if I give my head a little nod right when we get back to that first 7, kind of lets my body know that the pattern is restarting. So I'm not just gonna go, and just stay on this 7 forever. So go 1, 2, 3, 4. You can stomp your foot, nod your head, something like that, just to let your body know what's going on. Weirdly enough, that stuff does actually help. So right before we jump into the second line, I'm actually just going to play this whole last part of the solo, because that first line is pretty straightforward rhythmically and timing-wise. I just want to play you through the next 3 lines of the solo. So this is going to be starting at the second line right to the end. We got something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's that whole part of the solo. That was those 3 lines. Now, rewatch that as many times as you need, or even listen to the original song to get that in your head. So much easier to learn this kind of stuff when you actually know the song, know the solo, have listened to it a few times. So let's jump off. So let's start at that second line, and let's just start working our way through here. So like I was saying earlier, that first half of the line, we play 2 times. So we're going to start here, first finger barred across the 7th fret of your top 2 strings, the B and the high E. Now this is kind of the tricky thing. We're going to hit that 7, and then without attacking it again in your right hand, you slide them both up into the 8th fret. That's what those slashes on the tab mean. That's a slide. So 7, 8. If we keep going, 5 to 7. And then you hit that 7 2 more times. So it's like 7, 8, 5, 7, 7, 7. So that was that first half of the line a few times through. Like I said though, we do it 2 times through. I think I did it 4 times there. So let's take the second half of that line. This is going to start right after the repeat cymbals. So we start off the same 7 slide to 8, 5 slide to 7. Now you slide 7 back to 5, and then when you get to the 5, just like I did there, you hit it again. So it's like 7, 5, 5. Finish off with 7, 10. So we got. All right, so that's the second line. Now let me jump over to the third line here. We actually are going to be all the way up on 10. Now let me just run through this line one time through so you can get it in your head. We go. So pretty similar, same kind of rhythmic feel. So we're going to be up here, 10th fret, hit it, slide to 12. And then you hit the 12 again. So it's like slide in, pick. and then you go 10, 10. And we repeat that. So let me just loop that first part. Tasty, tasty little lick. I love that one. So we jump onto right after the repeat symbol in that third line. We get so we start at 10, slide to 7, hit that 7 again, same thing, 7 to 5, hit that 5 again. So we got 10, 7, 7, 7, 5, 5, and then 7, 7 to finish it off. So that whole third line. Excellent. I'm going to jump into the very last line now. So it's kind of similar to the second line actually. We start off with exactly the same as the second line. So 7, 8, 5, 7, 7, 7. And we finish it off. So right after the repeat symbol on that last line, we get so let's break that down from after the repeat. We get 7 slide to 8, 5 slide to 7, 7 slide back to 5, let that sit for a little bit, and then we just go 5, 7. So let me play that last line one more time for you. All right, and that's the whole solo right there. All right, so last we got Easy by the Commodores. Now, I did run through this one in the intro of this video. However, I was kind of filling in some of the chords between the licks because there's a lot of pauses in this solo. So if that seemed a little intimidating, don't worry. The actual solo is going to be much easier. You don't have to do any of those little chord shots I was doing. It's just the lead line. So here's what it sounds like right here. Very, very, very tasty solo. We're going to be adding in some cool new elements like string bending in this one, but there's not going to be any extremely hard bends, more just flicks, if you will. So let's start this one off. We're going to be right at the 13th fret of the A string, and we're going to do that with our third finger. Now, while your third finger is there, I want you to plant your second finger and your first finger on that string so that they can help push. Because what we're going to do is we're going to hit that, and you bend the string physically down a little bit, and then let it back to home base. So we go, and then we end on 11 of the A, and if you did what I said, your first finger was already there. And then we go up to the 13th fret of the G. Here we go. And then right here we have a 13 slide up. So you hit this note and just slide it up. So when you're doing one of these slide ups, you do not want to go where you slide to a certain note and stop. That is going to sound really weird. You want to go either slide up, and before your hand stops, get your right hand in there to kind of just stop the sound. So that's one option. Or you can just slide up and almost just fly off the fretboard. So I'm just like not even on the string anymore. So either way works as long as you're not going sliding to a certain note. So we get, and then, so the second part is exactly the same, but we leave out the G string. So you go, you stay on that 11, and then you hit it, slide down this time. Same deal, you don't want to slide to a note, you want to slide out. the right hand stopping it, or just slide clean off the fretboard. So that whole first line. All right, now let's jump to the second line. This one's a little bit more complicated. We're going to start off on the same thing though. 13, bend to 11. Now right here, we're going to jump up to the 16th fret of the B string. Gonna get you to do that with your third finger and plant your other fingers behind it on the same string to help bend. Bend it about that far, but again, it's not like you're sitting there and letting that sustain. You actually kind of just go. It's all pretty quick, so just give it a quick flick. And then your second finger and your first finger over here. So second finger's on the 15 of the G. First finger's behind them to help push. Give that a little push. You got 16, 15. Now we just kind of go down the scale. 13 on the G. Again, follow your tab there. Now I'm at the 16, BR. BR means bend release, by the way. So bend it physically down on that 16. So again, you've got the tabs in front of you, so let me just run through that line a few times really slowly. So again. And full speed. All right, and right after that, we go back to the first line again. So on the page, it's the third line, but it's exactly the same as the first line. So we go. All right, and then here's the last line. And there's a few ways we can approach fingering this. So we're going to kind of go over two ways here. So we start off with a 13 to 11, just like every other line. Now we're going to go up to the 16 of the B again, and this time you go bend it with your third finger just like before, then play it normal. Now we're up to 13 on the high E. So we get. All right, moving on from there, second finger on the 15 of the G. Give it a little bend, and once you've bent it up, your third finger creeps in, hits that 16 on the B. Go back to the 15, let it down, and then bend it again. Then we do a bend release on that 15. Bend releases, you bend it up and you just let it come back down audibly. 13. So let me run it like this a few times. Check out this fingering with, I'm kind of just using 1, 2, and 3 here. And then there's two options. I'll show you the other option after this. So here's the first option. If you've got pretty big hands, I'd say that's a great way to do it. Now, if your hands are a little bit smaller, or if you just want to, work on your pinky, exercise your pinky a little bit more, let's do it like this. So we'll go, and then pinky. Third finger on the G. Let me do that whole thing again with this fingering. So find which way it works best for you on that last one. Like I said, it can really go either way. You can do set 1, 2, 3, or you can use all 4 fingers. Just remember when you're doing a pinky bend, the pinky being such a weak finger, you really got to get all of your other fingers on that string to help push, right? And that's the last solo of the day. So Thanks a lot for watching, you guys. I hope you learned a thing or two. Let me know in the comment section if you guys have any questions at all, or if you want me to clarify something for you. I'm here to help. Also, if you're curious, we've got all sorts of courses online. We've got a lead guitar course, a blues guitar course, acoustic guitar course, 1960s song course. Plus, I teach lessons to people all over the world. I have students in Asia, Australia, New Zealand, all over Europe, all over the United States, a whole bunch in Canada as well. So yeah, let me know if you'd like to get together for a one-on-one webcam lesson sometime. Thanks a lot for watching this video. Make sure you hit that bell in the corner to subscribe to keep up with all these lessons we're releasing this year. Hope you guys have a good one, and I'll catch you in the next lesson.